I've named my nickel Philip. 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 It's a girl nickel.
Hello and welcome to the Fairly Odd Podcast, episode 4, where you will listen to us talk about the Fairly Odd Parents, episode 4, or else. I'm your host, Andrew.
And I'm your other host, Jeffrey.
And welcome. So this is the episode where we have father time, and we have part B is a partnership or whatever.
A partnership.
Yeah, partnership. There we go. It was just weird. It's like apartment, but not really. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But let's get into it. So the first one is father time. This is where Timmy has a lot of chores to do, and to bypass all the chores, he wishes for heat vision on Cosmo's recommendation. He burns everything, including his dad's favorite trophy on how he got his mom. And his dad's really angry at him. So Timmy decides to go back in time and just stop his dad from ever getting the trophy in the first place. Come to find out, that destroys his whole time and continuum, and he never exists, and his dad becomes a dictator. He goes back in time to help his dad win the trophy by posing as his dad, and he wins the race, gives it to his mom, and everything's back to normal. That's pretty much it. That was another great synopsis on my part, I feel. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back.
Short, sweet,
Jeff,
to the point.
What did you think about this episode?
I like this episode. It was a lot better than Tiny Timmy, that's for sure. They actually invested into this episode. I like how when you try and find out Timmy's mom and dad's name, there's always a car that just like sweeps by right as they say it, so they're only ever referred to as mom and dad.
Yeah, this one was very, very quotable as we were growing up, and then there was also a giant meme that went with this one after a while. The or else was something that we would all say at like recess and something. The tent scene where he talks about the TV and how there's 900 channels but nothing to watch.
So true.
Yeah, for real. And then the trophy where he's like, and this is where I would put my trophy if I had one. Mm-hmm. That one's the most quoted because it turned into a meme where it's like, this is where I'd put my girlfriend if I had one.
Also, very true.
Yeah. This was a great episode to feature Timmy's dad because this made me love him and want to see more of him from here until forever. What did you think about the character of Timmy's dad after getting to know a little bit more appreciation for him? Or did you not appreciate him? I don't want to put words in your
He's very dad-like, like your prototypical kind of dad thing. You know, he's exercising, he's got old trophies back from the 70s. You know, just kind of like your typical stuff, but it works.
Yeah, I thought you really worked out just in the beginning where his trophy senses were tingling after Timmy burned it to the ground. Which, would you ever wish for heat vision to do chores? Like,
I just wish for the chores to be done.
We're getting into a very big like loophole situation with these episodes because I feel like that's exactly what I would have done. I would have wished for the trophy just to be back together. I would have wished for the chores to be done. Like, this was just, there seems to be always like a roundabout way to make this a lot more conflict driven than what it could have been. Even Wanda suggests that Timmy just goes back 10 minutes into the past just to not burn the trophy down.
Yeah,
but
we're a lot more practical than Timmy is.
Exactly. Well, especially when he listens to Cosmo, because Cosmo is the one that asked him to do heat vision for his chores, and then also go back to all the way to the 1970s. I don't know too much about science. Growing up, I didn't like science. But if I learned any science, it was from TV and movies. And what Back to the Future taught me about science is if your parents never got together, you would not exist. And for some reason, that just made sense to me. It's common sense. If your parents never got together, you would never be made.
You never made togetherness.
Yeah, made togetherness. I am a smooth talker. I just don't understand. Fairly Odd Parents took a different route and just said that Timmy can still be alive. He just loses his fairy godparents, and it's like he never existed. So he's like in this weird limbo phase of like existing but not really existing. What did you think about that roundabout way of keeping Timmy if his parents never got together?
Well, I mean, they couldn't kill off Timmy. That kind of defeat the purpose of the episode. So they had to find some sort of way to make him stick around. They didn't really explain it. They just kind of shoehorned him in. But I guess it worked.
Yeah, I guess so too. I mean, I don't know. It was the best way, I feel, because it was just, like you said, just shoehorned. Like, yeah, he's just still there and just still hanging around. And I also like how the 1970s Cosmo and Wanda just, like, throw away their other actual god kid at the time to hang
Seriously.
out with Timmy. Like, they're just like, yeah, this is him. Like, this is what we're doing now.
Billy Gates.
Yeah, Billy Gates. Bill Gates makes an appearance in this episode. What's another thing I was going to talk about? Crap, I can't remember. What else happens in this episode?
Let's see.
Shoot.
Scary stories, futuristic
the
diet habits.
Yeah, the dictator
Dictator school.
Yeah, I wanted to. So in this race, there seems to be a first place and a last place prize. The first place gets a trophy, and then I guess the love of your life, because it's like a trophy that you give to somebody. The last place gets 12 years all expense paid tuition to dictator school.
Mandatory tuition. Or mandatory scholarship.
Yeah, mandatory. Just like dictatorship, it's mandatory to go to this school. This is where Timmy's dad learns to be a dictator. He takes over Dimsdale to be the happiest place in the world and just rules it with an iron fist and a smile on his face. What did you think about that twist of the episode?
That was kind of odd, and everybody's always smiling in this new Dimsdale. So they have like this perpetual grin on their face. It's a little unnerving, especially for a kid.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like a Joker-esque kind of like of way of living. It's just but I mean, everybody seems so happy, but Dimsdale looks so crappy. Yeah, I thought this was one of my favorite episodes, just because it features the dad so much, and then Cosmo and Wanda. Cosmo is just 2 for 0 against Wanda on the wishes scale. That's how I see it. But I love the dad. Whenever the dad always shows up, I start loving him more and more. But I think I like this. I like that they introduced the parents so early on, and made them likable instead of doing kind of like a Charlie Brown sort of thing where the parents are just like figments that just leave every other day and whatnot. So to me, I'm happy with seeing them. And they show up in part B of this episode where they're waiting for their anniversary dinner. But do you have anything else to say about this episode before we move on to part B?
No, not really. I liked it. Not a lot of bad in here. So.
You got it from here. You got it from us. You heard. It's good. We liked it. So we'll be back after these messages for part B of Fairly Odd Podcast. And welcome back to episode 4, part B of A Fairly Odd Podcast. Where's this episode? Yeah, episode 4. This is episode 4. I know what we're talking about. This is called A Partnership. Quick synopsis on A Partnership. This is where Cosmo and Wanda well, it's their anniversary along with Timmy's parents. So Timmy is helping both his parents have a good anniversary and Cosmo and Wanda. Cosmo thinks it's the styrofoam anniversary. Wanda thinks it's the false anger anniversary, which gets Cosmo really pissed off, and he goes to see his mama Cosma after 10,000 years of not seeing them. He told her 10,000 years ago that he was going out for milk, got married, had a whole life, and then came back. And she wants to break up Wanda and Cosmo by putting them on a dating game, which is just the match game. And if they were to get match up again, they would be known as like a couple forever, I guess. Through rigmarole, they do match up again, and they live happily ever after. And Timmy finally feeds his parents after the mom's been blindfolded for like 12 hours.
Yeah, until midnight.
So, yeah, till midnight. So that's the episode. So, Jeff, what do you think about A Partnership?
A Partnership was good. We got Mama Cosma. We also got Cupid in this episode. So we're just tacking on to the character list as of right now. I like the game show aspect to it. That was funny. And then the very protective Cosmo mom, which is kind of what you expect, knowing Cosmo's personality. You know, his mom's got to be a little interesting.
Yeah, we did get Cupid and Mama Cosma, which they will play parts, but they're not huge players as of yet. But yeah, this was a fun episode, especially to see of Timmy's mom getting hungry. She bites down on the table. I love the interaction between the dad and the mom in this episode, because the mom just like screams like Godzilla as she bites the table, and then the dad's just like, now honey, too much fiber will ruin your appetite. And then she roars at him again, and he goes, and I'm okay with that. So I think I'm with a lot of people saying that Mama Cosma is definitely not my favorite Fairly Odd Parents character introduced, just because she wants to break up Cosmo and Wanda. And I'm guessing that's a major reason why they made her as the overbearing mother-in-law figure. What do you think of Mama Cosma as a character freshly introduced?
Yeah, I can kind of feel you. You're kind of rooting for Cosmo and Wanda and Timmy to, you know, prosper, I guess. And then Mama Cosma comes and she's trying to break apart that trio. So they kind of puts in a bit of a barrier at first, I guess. I mean, she's still a funny character. But yeah, I don't see many people kind of rooting for her cause.
Yeah, definitely not. I do love that her dress matches her hair in that teal. But yeah, I think it was all right. I thought it was weird about the whole robotic girls that she wanted Cosmo to be with. I don't know. That's just super creepy. It's like Dragon Ball Z with the androids. Except didn't Krillin get one pregnant?
Maybe?
I don't know. Android 18. I know he got together. So basically, Mama Cosmo wanted Cosmo to be Krillin and shave his head. I thought that was creepy. I did love like you said, I love the game aspect. The gosh, what is it? The match game. That's what it is.
Game show?
Yeah, game show. The game show aspect. I thought the reference was a little over the kids' heads, especially growing up. I feel like we knew what the concept was. It just wasn't exactly we weren't watching it. It wasn't like The Price is Right, or it wasn't a game show that stayed through time. But I guess we learned it through other TV. I remember Boy Meets World did kind of like an episode where they did like a match kind of game. So I guess it's like one of those tropes that everybody does here and there. but this is the first time we see real conflict with Cosmo and Wanda. What did you feel when they were having their conflict? False or true?
I think Cosmo not knowing that it was the false anger anniversary. If it was the false anger anniversary, I'm not really sure which one that is. But just kind of seeing Wanda act that way, if he's under the impression that's just a regular day, would be kind of off-putting. So I can understand where he's coming from. But yeah, I'm curious as to whether. I guess I have to default to Wanda knowing which anniversary it would be, because I don't think Cosmo's a very reliable source.
Agreed.
So maybe the styrofoam anniversary was supposed to be some other day?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely the false anger anniversary, just because Cosmo always screws up. My problem is that would be pretty upsetting to like do so much work and kind of like have it like fall through and whatnot, but to be so angered to go see your mom that you haven't seen in 10,000 years to complain about your wife she already dislikes, to me it's a little drastic. I would just have gone to like some Paradise Island or something and like to cool off or whatever instead of going all the way to Fairy World, because I know like moms are supposed to be like super caring and kind of natural, like a natural like caretaker and comforter and stuff, but I mean, you know, she's not going to be happy with you doing 10,000 years. Like, you haven't done 10,000 years of like hanging out with your mom, and then like I don't know, I thought it was a little drastic saying I'm gonna go see my mom that and then but that's just me. I mean, it could be, or it could not be. But I mean, we get introduced to to Cupid, who I want to say is a little effeminate, but he still loves Mama Cosmo in this episode, so good for him. I don't know. But redeeming qualities at the end. Cosmo and Wanda get back together, spoiler alert, and Timmy finally feeds his parents, which, if you're the parents, you just go make your own food at that point. Why are you waiting?
Seriously? For,
I want to say 12 hours, but it could have been longer. Also,
something like that. And for the dinner that you did end up getting?
Yeah. Also, I want to know, what anniversary are they celebrating? Because they said it was the roller skate blindfold anniversary, and I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't remember having that one on the list.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, what kind of anniversary is that? Normally it's like the glass or the ruby or the sapphire, but you get to the anniversary where it's the roller skate blindfold, and the mom kept the blindfold on the entire day.
Yep.
Yeah. I do love the ending with the dad though, where the mom is like, first of all, you're starving, you haven't eaten all day, and then your son puts on like Crash Nebula mushy candy casserole or whatever on the table, and she's just like, no, I'm not gonna eat it. But then she like Timmy does the Cupid arrow to her, and then she's like, but today I love it. And then he goes over to the dad and he's like, and I love your mother. And then she roars, and then he's like, but I can wait.
He knows not to get in the way.
Yeah, he definitely knows not to get in the way. Which is, I think, a very big knowing in your relationship when to show affection and when to just calm down. And when your significant other roars at you with the fervor of Godzilla crashing down on Japan, I think that's a good time to know when to not go in for a hug.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, I think we could all learn something from this episode of Fairly Odd Parents. If that's the one thing to learn from it. Did we miss anything in this episode? Or do you think we're good?
I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I think we're good. I can't think of anything else. I mean, there's no real B subplot except seeing the parents be sitting at the table forever, and then the mom trying to break up Cosmo and Wanda. So I think we're good. Any last words before we end this episode?
I guess I could try and come up with something witty. If you give me a second.
Okay, I'll give you a second while I say thank you for watching. Thank you for clicking on this video. Please like, subscribe on YouTube and also on iTunes when we get on iTunes. You have anything?
Okay, how about this? And this is where I'd say my outro. If I had one.